Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm JJ the Bearded Bookworm, and today we're going to be... Nope, this just ain't right. Alright, that's much better. Now, one of the many reasons why I haven't put out a video in the last couple weeks is I've been doing a bunch of house projects during isolation. And so one of those was this amazing new setup. We got 4 cases of bookshelves, which are embarrassingly empty at the moment. They're very bare. Pretty much what you see in frame is my entire collection. So I'll change that eventually, just slowly building up books. This video is going to be about my May TBR. Now, my Cosmere 2020 books for May are going to be Hero of Ages. I'm already like halfway through. I'm going to be finishing that up. And then there are a couple short stories that go with that, as well as The Alloy of Law, which is the second era in the Mistborn world. This one's a little more of a Western kind of versus the other one's a little more medieval, traditional fantasy. This one's more of like a Western buddy cop kind of story from what I understand. I don't know hardly anything about this one. This one's the lesser talked about of the two eras. But I'm really excited to get into it because things, from what I've heard, things start to get really weird as far as magic and whatnot. Next is my Stephen King book for May, and I didn't even open The Stand. I feel like the prospect of going from The Gunslinger, which was my first and only Stephen King book thus far, then going to The Stand, which is a 1,400 page behemoth, that was kind of a bad move on my part. So for the most part, I'm going to basically go through the Stephen King books in chronological order, but with some minor tweaks as far as the order. Some of it being what I have on hand, some of it being a little more thematic. But May's Stephen King book is going to be The Shining. By all accounts, this is a great story. It's one of his best ones, from what I understand. I feel like it should start off with a hit of Stephen King's horror books, and from what I've heard and been told, there's one of the scariest chapters in literature in this book. So definitely going to be making it a point to get to that and then continue on with my Stephen King journey as the months go on. The next book is going to be The Girl in the Stars by Mark Lawrence. This is Mark's newest addition to the same world as the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. I have not read that one. From what I understand, each trilogy is slightly separate. I don't know that for sure, but since it's brand new, I'm going to read this one first, and then going on, I'm going to start with the other two trilogies set in his other world, the one with the Prince of Thorns going through, and then get to this gorgeous Red Queen's War book, omnibus. My science fiction pick for May is going to be Dune. Knickknacks Corner's having a book club where everybody's going to be reading it together and discussing it. So I'm going to be participating in that. I've previously had Dune on my TBR list. Another book that I never got to, never cracked it open. But I'm coming back with a vengeance, and I'm definitely going to be actively reading. I've cut out a lot of distractions that kept me from reading, and so now all of my spare time, all of my free time, I'm going to be spending reading or making videos. The next book on my TBR is Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. And I have heard nothing but good things about this book. I thought it was weird when I first saw it because I was a little off put by the catchphrase or whatever the tagline, where it says the boys are back in town. I was like, that sounds a little rock and roll, 70s, Queen. And then watching some reviews, watching an interview, with Nicholas, I realized, yeah, that's the point. The whole book takes heavy inspiration from 70s music. And so I'm really excited. Everybody always compares it to a D&D campaign where this group of friends are just funny, as well as like just this really tight group. And so I'm really excited because I'm a huge D&D nerd, and so that just checks so many boxes for me as far as why I would want to read it. So last month I talked about doing a weekly video about comic books or manga, and I was extremely unmotivated during this whole quarantine situation, so I didn't do that at all. So I'm going to be implementing that this month, and I wanted it to be kind of a book club type discussion video where I get questions or, people's opinions and whatnot, and just kind of back and forth, kind of a response type video. And so at the moment, I'm going to be doing the same ones that I talked about last month, Vinland Saga as well as Saga, unless we just get overwhelming suggestions about another series to tackle. So if there's a comic book or graphic novel, I realize those are basically the same thing, or a manga, comment down below if you wanting to discuss that. I'm going to be starting up a Discord server, and if I have it up, I'll have the link down below. But I'll have a dedicated channel on there for a weekly book club. Alright, so the last book on my TBR for May is going to be the start of a beautiful journey, and I'm going to be starting my relationship with Harry Dresden. And I'm basically going to, as long as the bug doesn't catch me, tackle one book per month going forward. Jim Butcher's got a couple books coming out later this year. I'm not going to try to binge read the entire series because I have not touched it, but hopefully by the time I catch up, the last couple books of his series will be coming out at that point. So that's all I got for today. Comment down below, what are you reading this month? Which of the books that I'm reading are you excited about? Once again, comment down below. If you're interested in doing kind of a graphic novel, manga, book club type situation, let me know what you think of the new setup. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm JJ the Bearded Bookworm, and I'll see you in a couple days.